What's up, guys? Kyle Stanley, the setup man here at the Winter Meetings in Nashville, and I brought my family with me. We're at the Gaylord Hotel. Say hi, Madeline. We're going to show you what it's like to go to the Winter Meetings without a press pass. Now, the best part of this entire experience happens at the end, so watch the whole thing. I had no expectations for this event because I really didn't want to get my hopes up. All right, so the very first moment we walk into the Gaylord, ran into World Series champion Bruce Bochy, World Series champion Chris Young. It's a good start. The atmosphere was absolutely incredible, not just the buzz of the meetings and the fact that it was Ohtani Mania, but the hotel was immaculate, decked out with Christmas cheer, and my wife was instantly like 10 times more excited to be there. She's a big Christmas fan. And I could tell from the way that all the media, the coaches, and the GMs were interacting with each other that this was pretty much open game. The fact that I didn't have a pass was not a big deal at all. Also, as of night one, no Ohtani movement. So it was time to start making intros, but honestly, I froze like a little teenage boy asking out a girl. My wife even said hi to Scott Service for me, but it's not really that easy figuring out who everyone is when they're not in uniform. I just recognize them. But even after that embarrassing moment, I knew I needed an in with every person. Just randomly saying hi wasn't really my thing. I needed to have something worth asking or worth saying. So after racking my brain trying to figure out what to say to everyone, from there I was able to introduce myself to Mark DeRosa, Torey Lovullo, Joe Nathan, and a few other recognizable faces. Now again, I did not have a media pass, so I was just set up in the lobby, and everyone was kind of cool with that. I met kings of the rumor mill like Ken Rosenthal and Jeff Passan, and I asked them both one important question. I said, if you were to start doing what I'm doing today in this age, what would you do? How would you do it? And he said, I would niche down majorly. So I've just made a decision while being at the Winter Meetings, and I'm going to make this exclusively a Cubs podcast. Niche down. Didn't expect that to happen. So my next step was connecting with all of the Cubs media, CHGO, MLB.com, Marquee, and more. I even had a couple of them on my show while I was there. Side note, still no Ohtani movement. Okay, I've been here for 24 hours and had no idea that there was this side of the hotel. This is like where all the media is, where all the important people are. And I'm now here in the last couple hours of my experience, so I gotta make the most of this. Holy cow, this is where the real action was. MLB Network, MLB.com, ESPN, and of course, both New York teams went big and brought their own networks. Kind of crazy. In the last couple hours, I actually ran into my former mentor, Matt Vasgersian, and made a few more Cubs connections. Time well spent. But still no Ohtani news, and unfortunately, I didn't run into Jed Hoyer. I really wanted to see just how mad he was at Bob Nightingale for this false tweet. And as we wrapped up the night, I really thought the best had come to an end. But then something amazing happened. Right before we boarded our flight to go home, Dave Roberts shows up at our gate. My wife, being a diehard Dodgers fan, I'm still working on converting her, was absolutely stoked out of her mind.
Oh my gosh.
Then we boarded, and guess who's sitting next to us? Yup, Dave. And he loved on my daughter, chatted with me for the next 2 hours about life and baseball. Probably my best celebrity encounter. And that includes randomly running into Rob Schneider in the airport before we even made it to Nashville. Dave even gave me his phone number and said he's excited to be on this podcast. And remember, Cubs fans, he worked with Jed Hoyer in the front office in San Diego and played for Theo Epstein. So there's some ties to talk about. And even though nothing happened with Shohei, the Juan Soto trade did go through while I was sitting next to Dave, and I can say he was pretty happy to see Soto leave their division. Overall, the Winter Meetings, even without a media pass, are a baseball fan's dream. Even if you're just a fan and not a part of any organization, find an excuse to go. You'll feel like me, a kid in a candy shop. And by the way, subscribe to The Setup Man for more content. Check out our website, setupman.net. Looking forward to seeing you there.